inviting us. I am Eunice Spooner, advisor to the Oakland Computer Club and one of the founders. This is Chris Bedard, one of the members. We are from Oakland, which is about 3,000 miles east of Oakland, California, in Oakland, Maine. It's a small community, about 120 miles up to the state of Maine, which is only a third of the way up into our state. About 4 years ago, the club was started, and titling the speech, The Accidental Foundation of the Oakland Computer Club. Back in '74, I started teaching kindergarten and continued as a first grade teacher until I had an automobile accident. And while I was teaching, I was working towards my master's degree at the University of Maine, getting my master's in elementary ed with a concentration in mathematics. And it was about this time, in 1981, that TI came out with the TI logo. And it was my project, as no one else at the university knew how to use logo, to take it upon myself to learn it for that class project. And I talked the PTO at the elementary school into buying a computer. I knew that they couldn't afford an Apple or an IBM, and as TI was on the affordable side at that time and did come out with TI logo, that was what they were willing to go for. So that is how I became interested in the TI and also logo. I had an automobile accident while going to a teachers conference back in December of '82. And while in the hospital for the 9.5 months, I was interested in doing something on weekends when the hospital staff was short. So my aunt purchased me the TI computer, which I could use weekends and also had for when I went home. I was determined to get back into the classroom, but not as a full-time teacher. So I started volunteering. And this is a very important fact, that if you do have a TI and you want to get it into your school system, I would suggest that you try to volunteer some time to take it in. Teachers are very busy. Elementary teachers are very intimidated by a computer, and if you do have the time to take a small amount of time and take your TI into the school. I started on a one-day-a-week basis volunteering, and I'm now doing it 3 days a week, teaching logo to first, second, and third graders. I found out that this was not enough time for a number of students to be involved with a computer. They wanted more. So 4 years ago, this coming October, is when we started the TI Computer Club. We sent out a notice to those who were interested. And we started meeting on Monday nights. Our meetings now have switched to Tuesday nights. We meet every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 o'clock at night. And we are using basic programming. And it is open, and we have members from kindergarten to 8th grade. So this club started back in 1986, and we had, what would you say, Chris, roughly 20 members at that time? And the word spread, and we advertised in a newspaper that goes throughout Maine and New Hampshire, where you can put free ads in for used computers. Yard sales, Chris and his grandparents like to go yard sailing, and we pick up some TIs. So we've accumulated some TIs during the years, and I make them available for students to rent for $5 a month to see if they are interested, if the parents are interested in having one, or if they would like to buy one after we've checked them out, make sure they work, for $35. So what we've done is We have set up a number of computers in our club. Presently, each club night, we set up 18 TI computers on carts. We start about 6:30. Having them on carts makes them very easy to set up. We set them up in the library, and we have about 6 to 8 active parents who come to the club to help set up the club. The club has grown in size so that now there are an average of 40 members in kindergarten through 8th grade, plus about 6 to 8 parents that come. Usually Sunday afternoons I plan a lesson in basic and try to run it off on a copier for them to use Tuesday nights. I wanted to start a newsletter, but it was very difficult to get young people to write something. I know that many others from reading the exchange newsletters have adults that have a hard time getting other adults to write letters. Well, I have a doubly hard time. So we started out with just a couple of pages in our newsletter, and our last one was 14 pages. So that we have developed a few techniques for increasing the size of our newsletter, and we try to keep it original material. Now, another way that we started getting more computers into the hands of children was when TexComp had their $100 sale. They no longer have that. But at that time, 15 parents were willing to invest $100 into that deal that they offered. So there was a core of 15 students. The TI was used a little bit in the school, but I was really the one who was the main one using it. As I say, teachers don't really have time to learn how to use a computer or a program. So by my being able to be in the library to volunteer, the children got a little bit more exposure to the computer. Yard sales were also a good way to pick up the computers, TIs, and advertising in the newspapers, saying that they can make donations to the school for tax deduction, and we have received a lot of support, both from TI Club, from former TI users. Another way that we have received some computers is by ads in a company newspaper. My college roommate's husband works for a large company, and they have a newsletter. So he said, why don't I just put an ad in the newspaper, in the company newsletter? And 5, 6 TI computers came off the shelves. Their children either had outgrown them or they had, quote, moved up to other computers. So that is how we have accumulated the TIs in our school. How the club members have raised money is that there are no dues, but they can bring, if they want, 25 cents for a raffle for each meeting. And we raffle off, at the first it was three pencils that say Oakland Computer Club on it. At our Christmas party, I gave everyone a computer club pencil. And I had bought, I think, 3 gross of them, so I had plenty left over. So that was what we did 3 years ago for our prize, for our gift at a Christmas party. The next year it was club pens. And again, you have to buy a large quantity in order to get a good price. So that is another choice